violence that rocked the Endsars protest last October, when many public and private property worth ₦1 trillion were destroyed across the state, including several BRT buses stationed in this particular park at Baja bus stop. Lagos State government has continued to intensify efforts in its rebuilding exercise and healing campaign through consistent youth engagement, compensation for victims, and other strategic interventions. This is Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni.
Ẹni tí ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ọ̀pọ̀ ò bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan.
It is 1 year since the historic Endsars protest, a youth-driven anti-police brutality demonstration that shook Nigeria almost to its root, with Lagos, its commercial nerve center, as the epicenter. The protest, which emanated from social media campaigns, culminated in street demonstrations in October 2020, triggered by the SSAs of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, a now disbanded police tactical unit notorious for cruelty against crime suspects. October 2020 went down as a month Lagos will never forget. Endsars protest against police brutality started on the 8th of October.
The Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police, otherwise known as SARS.
On the 11th of October, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu announced the dissolution of SARS. On Monday, the 12th of October, Governor Sanwo-Olu identified and addressed the Lekki protesters.
I'm aware that Aneka Okore, I'm aware that Ayomide Taiwo, I'm aware that Kolawole Joshua, I'm aware that Christina Ugochukwu, I'm aware that Chidima and God's Power Edolo, amongst a little list of people that we need to, part of your agenda is we need to get to the family and we need to compensate the families. Am I right?
On the 13th of October, the governor also addressed the protesters at Alausa.
It would be nice for us to also further engage ourselves. Last week Sunday, not these two days ago, last week Sunday, I was the first of your leaders that tweeted and put on my page, that was going to ensure that we ban SARS.
Same day, he traveled to Abuja to formally deliver the youth's 5-point demand to President Muhammadu Buhari. On the 15th of October, the governor, during a press briefing, announced the setting up of a 7-man judicial panel of inquiry for victims of SARS brutality. On the 17th of the same month, Mr. Governor visited families of victims. Governor Sanwo-Olu okayed the youth's demand and set up a trust fund to compensate the families of victims of police brutality in the state. He also approved immediate release of all arrested protesters. Oaths were administered on members of the judicial panel to investigate SARS brutality and raised the sum of 200 million naira to compensate victims. On the 18th of October, 11 days into the protest, things got worse. On the 19th, schools were shut, movement restricted. Lagos witnessed an unprecedented destruction of property. Hoodlums hijacked the protest, and law enforcement officers, especially the police, became the hunted. On the 20th of October, a curfew was imposed by the state government to stop wanton looting and destruction. Same night of 20th October, shootings were heard at Lekki, and the social media erupted with claims and counterclaims. Police and private properties went up in flames. Financial institutions were attacked. 37 police stations razed in Lagos alone. The police stations were looted and arms and ammunition carted away. Detainees were freed. Policemen were killed. More than 500 vehicles razed. Igboshere, the oldest high court, became merely a shell. Nigeria Ports Authority building and the Lagos State DNA and Forensic Laboratory were destroyed. Bode Thomas Street, Fagba, Lekki Mall were war zones. Traditional rulers' palaces were not spared. Governor Sanwo-Olu's mother's house was burnt. The nation's newspapers building burnt. World-class TVC news studio burnt down.
They've set the bus on fire. They've set TVC bus on fire.
The fear and the terror that was instilled in the hearts of our employees last Wednesday morning. We had people on the air who were terrified. The raiders went into the studio whilst we were on the air and cut the show off and then ignited the studio. We're left with nothing but wrecks and ruins and burnt out vehicles. But the main thing, Governor, is nobody's life was lost. People were injured here, but not seriously, so we're grateful for that.
Max FM 102.3 not spared. Attempts to fling open the gates of Ikoyi prison was foiled by security forces. Calm returned in November. On the 2nd of November, schools resumed. The project to rebuild Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, started. On Wednesday, the 4th November, the governor signed an executive order for the rebuilding of the state as a result of massive destruction it's witnessed. Mr. Sanwo-Olu inaugurated an 8-member board for the new Lagos State Rebuilding Trust Fund Committee. Governor Sanwo-Olu presented a report on properties damaged by hoodlums in Lagos to President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Villa, Abuja. Southwest governors, ministers and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo also met on rebuilding Lagos, the 5th largest economy in Africa.
Let me assure you all that we will bounce back. We do not take it for chance, because this is who we are. This is what Lagos is. A resilient people, an irrepressible city. This is our history. This, we believe, is in our DNA.
There is a moral, social, and ethical reconstruction to be undertaken as well. We must rebuild trust between the government and the governed, the vast majority of who are young persons trust between the law enforcement agents and the communities that they are meant to serve. Never again should law enforcement find itself on the opposite side of any conflict in society.
By reason of our love for Lagos, we are fully committed to the restoration, rehabilitation, and rebuilding of this great city.
In December 2020, Governor Sanwo-Olu fulfilled his promise to pay 60 million naira compensation to the families of slain police officers. Mr. Governor compensated the family members of 6 policemen with 10 million naira each.
Thank you for all that you have done to us. Thank you for Abatunde Sanwo-Olu. It's all right, ma'am.
Thank you to Mr. Governor, the governor of Lagos State. I'm from HT, so I don't live in Lagos here. So I'd like to say thank you to him.
Year 2020, no doubt, was a challenging one for Nigeria's most prosperous city, and 1 year after, the state has continued to demonstrate optimism and resilience with its ongoing rebuilding exercise. Lagos had estimated loss from the massive destruction that trailed the Endsars to be about 1 trillion naira. This may not include private businesses and property consumed in the mayhem.
One of the things that the committee has been able to do is to bring together professionals, including architects, valuation experts, estate valuers, and all manner of professionals who can come together and put naira and kobo to this. And I think they have taken the inventory of all of the things that were damaged. But to put naira and kobo to it, that estimate is yet to be presented to us at the Executive Council.
But what seems of priority to the state is to stimulate healing from those who had suffered pain or brutalized in the past.
For us in Lagos State, it's not just about brick and mortar. It's not just about rebuilding all the assets that were destroyed in a manner that was incredible, in a manner beyond belief. It's all about thinking about psychological effect of what has happened on Lagosians. It is about finding out what happened, why did this happen, and how can we come back together to reclaim the pride of Lagos that we are talking about. And for Mr. Sanwo-Olu, it's all about rebuilding the trust that we had in ourselves. It's all about bringing back the pride of Lagos as the leading city of black people in the world. It's all about bringing back Lagos that is the heart of Nigeria's business and commerce. And it's about bringing back Lagos that is the hope of the black man. So we are trying as much as possible to encourage Lagosians to say, this shall never happen again. And I have seen so many groups coming up to say that they will not allow Lagos to be destroyed again. And I think that is the spirit that all of us should have now going forward, so that the rebuilding of Lagos that we are talking about, we can embark on it and complete it, and then take Lagos to the greater Lagos we are talking about.
On the 18th of October 2020, the Lagos State Judicial Panel on Restitution for Victims of SARS-related abuses and other matters held its valedictory sitting. So far, a total of 410 million naira has been awarded to more than 70 victims. Chairman of the panel, Justice Doris Okuobi, also revealed that the panel had concluded its investigation into the shooting at the Lekki toll gate, one of the venues of the Endsars protest in Lagos.
In Yemisi Olonode against Federal SARS, the panel declines jurisdiction as the petitioner confirmed that her husband was killed not by police officers but a mob action. The petition lacks merit and is hereby struck out. Adeyomo Rotimi against Federal SARS. The wife of the deceased confirmed that Lagos State government gave her 10 million naira compensation. Therefore, to grant further compensation will amount to double compensation. Family of the deceased are not entitled to another compensation before this panel.
If not for the Lagos State government, if they say go to your house, I will not do otherwise. But to the glory of God, they still remember they still remember us. So I thank God for everything.
I was arrested, detained for some days, and later charged to court for a crime I know nothing about. I spent 3 years fighting the case, so I came here for compensation, of which I was given an award, but though not very satisfied, but it's okay. I wish that the government will put more effort to ensure that injustice is taken care of in the society, because I
came here. They asked me to swear for Bible. I said I will not swear by Bible because my religion says say the truth. And I showed them the document and everything. I really appreciate them. They have done a good work for the humanity, not for me alone. I've seen people who come here that have been denied justice, and the justice has been served. I thank God and give glory to them, especially the chairman of that panel. Oh, she's a honorable woman, and all the members of the panel. To me, I say, you ain't been wine for them.
Upon the handover of that report, we will be making it public. We do not want to cover anything. That's not who we are. We will make full disclosure of whatever recommendations, of whatever identification that the panel will come up with.
Some of the businesses and firms that were affected during the Endsars protest were also supported with more than 900 million naira by the Lagos State government through its Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment.
We got some support from the government through the LSCTF, and in their own little way, they encouraged us, and the governor was here, the moral support and all that, and we got support from our customers, friends, families, we got all the support, and we're truly encouraged. We're glad to be back. We're glad that 1 year after we're still standing. We're glad that we're grateful to God that we're alive. So it's just been God's message, and we're praying that, not on our watch, this would never happen again. Of course, as a mall, we came together, all the shop owners, we formed the WhatsApp group. We tried to say we would improve on our security. We looked at the lapses, so it must never happen again. And I thank God that the government is rising to their responsibility, the police, security, everybody has improved on their security now, and, the sky is the limit.
We were 6 on my corridor. I'm the only one fully opened. The other one is a warehouse that sells electronics, so they are still there as warehouse. The other 4, they've left.
Exactly 1 year after, some protesters returned to Lekki Tollgate, the epicenter of the protest, and other areas as a sign of solidarity with all the victims of the carnage.
Everybody that was arrested by the police for one reason or the other have all been released, except an individual that was caught with dangerous weapon. He had cutlasses, he had charms and all sorts, and he did confess to the police that he was there to cause mayhem.
Lagos State government has also been engaging its youth over and over to deepen understanding of issues of development and prevent the ugly aftermath of the 2020 Endsars protest that resulted in the loss of lives and livelihoods.
It's about a new Lagos, to say that indeed all of us have agreed that together, working collaboratively, we can build a society, we can build an ecosystem that all of us should be truly proud of.
Lagos also lays the opportunities they can tap into from different ministries.
Great Nigerian youths, greatest of the 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 greatest Nigerian youths. What government should do and must continue to do is to create an environment where indeed the private sector, or indeed you can become an entrepreneur on your own, or you can become a solution to all of the problems that we have around the society. There's also what we call the Office of Civic Engagement. Office of Civic Engagement. All of us are citizens of our state, we're citizens of this country. The Office of Civic Engagement also ensure that they can partner with a lot of community-based intervention.
There are two variants to the Eco Digital. The first one is in school, and that's ongoing now. Registration is free, it's for 3 months. And we have about 11 centers across the state in Lagos. And you can also visit these centers, you can register now. The website is www.ecodigital.com.
Being here is actually an avenue to also leverage on what I've learned so far in school.
Teaching us about financial empowerment, skill learning, vocational acquisitions.
There's so many young people in Lagos, they now see government as a friend that they can rely on. Because all of the programs that we are doing, there is none that doesn't have youth element in it. And the youth element in it is pronounced. Look at the creative industry in which the government has put in about 1 billion for people who are artists, filmmakers, screenwriters, and all of them to go into. Look at the science in innovation. We are putting about 350 million for people who have anything that they feel can help in terms of research. They can go and access the money to be able to do their research. Then we are building a film village and all of that, all of the things that we are doing, there are things that are, tailored at bringing our young people together and rebuilding that trust that they had in the government.
The month of October 2020 and all the events that transpired may not leave the memories of many Nigerians in a hurry, but it serves as a lesson in nation building. For Lagosians, it is an opportunity to show unshakable faith that Lagos will rise just like the phoenix from their ashes.
Yes, Lagos has not allowed the ugly episodes that trailed the Endsars protest to define its destiny. It has shown optimism and hope that it can emerge from a catastrophe stronger, smarter, and more powerful. And that's the package. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Ade Doja. Salam Adeni. See you next time. Thanks for watching.